Now, there's more bad news for German car makers, with heavyweights Volkswagen and Mercedes-Benz posting year-on-year declines of over 40% in net profits for the first quarter of 2025. The car makers blame lower sales in China for some of their WOs, but forecasts for their profits for the months ahead are looking pretty cloudy too. Both industry giants have recently warned of the effect of US President Donald Trump's tariffs on car imports from the European Union. It did not begin with a factory shutdown. It did not begin with a press conference. It began with a pause, a delay, an empty shipping schedule, a silence from Europe's largest automakers. And then, on May 23, 2025, President Donald Trump broke that silence with a single threat: a 50% tariff on all European Union imports, effective June 1st, unless production moves to the United States. He did not say possibly, he did not say maybe, he said do it or pay, and that ultimatum sent shockwaves through an already fragile alliance. What followed was not a German surrender, but a German maneuver. Volkswagen, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, Audi and Porsche, the five pillars of Germany's industrial might, did not pack up and leave. They froze. They halted shipments. They restructured production. They redrew their supply maps quietly, strategically, with one purpose: survival. Before we continue, hit that like button to help us beat the YouTube algorithm and to show your support. This is not just another policy skirmish. This is an economic standoff that is targeting the heart of transatlantic trade. And for the first time in modern history, it is working. Because German automakers, the very companies that once defined the future of luxury, performance, and reliability on American roads, are now staring down an environment so volatile, so punitive, that staying still might be more dangerous than leaving altogether. Let us begin with Audi. The company made no flashy announcement, no dramatic gesture, just one internal memo. All vehicle shipments to the United States will be frozen until further notice. That memo went into effect on April 2nd. As of today, May 23rd, that freeze remains in place. Audi's best-selling SUV, the Q5, is built in Mexico. Its sedans are built in Germany. None of its vehicles are made on US soil, and now none are being shipped in. At the time of the freeze, Audi had 37,000 cars already on US lots, about 2 months' supply. The company is burning through it while watching Washington. Porsche took a different path. Before the tariff hit, it rushed 5,000 extra vehicles across the Atlantic, front-loading US supply to cushion against expected delays. Mercedes-Benz did the same, increasing inventory at US dealerships in Alabama, Las Vegas, and New York. Volkswagen halted rail shipments of the Jetta, TA, and Tiguan from Mexico. BMW froze exports of several European-made sedans. And then came the next move: price suppression. Most automakers agreed to delay sticker price hikes. BMW absorbed the costs for weeks until this month, when it announced a 4% price increase on its Mexico-built 2 Series models. Audi raised prices modestly on its new A5 models. Porsche has not yet increased prices, but the company now holds daily strategy meetings to assess that possibility. Lamborghini, still holding steady, is evaluating whether to follow Ferrari in a quiet price hike. Meanwhile, in the United States, Trump's administration is doubling down. In addition to the 25% tariff on imported vehicles imposed in April, Trump has now threatened to increase that rate to 50% across all European Union imports, not just cars. And he is not stopping there. He has also demanded that Apple move iPhone production to American factories or face the same tariff. Apple's stock fell nearly 4% in pre-market trading. Markets panicked and the European Union, cornered but not compliant, responded with its own threat. Before we continue, hit that subscribe button to show your support to the channel. The European Commission, led by President Ursula von der Leyen, is preparing a €95 billion retaliation package. It includes tariffs on American bourbon, motorcycles, aircraft, machinery, and yes, cars. Brussels has given Washington until July to resolve the dispute or face a trade wall of its own. Behind closed doors, German officials are preparing for every outcome. In Berlin, Economy Minister Robert H. Beck said, "We will not back down in the face of the United States." In Munich, Chancellor Olaf Scholz told reporters that closing factories is not the answer, but strategic adjustments may be inevitable. And they already are. Because while no German automaker has officially exited the US market, their decisions are signaling a chilling recalculation. Not one brand has announced a full departure, but all are now shifting production, freezing imports, cutting discretionary spending, and redrawing plans for their future in North America. BMW's South Carolina factory, its largest in the world, is operating at full tilt. Mercedes-Benz has ordered a 25% budget cut in its US division. Audi and Porsche are now exploring US-based production for the first time in their history. Not because they want to, because if tariffs rise to 50%, they may no longer be able to stay profitable while relying on imports. And here is where the dominoes start to fall. Volvo, not German, but a signal of what is coming, has already cancelled US orders for its Chinese-made S90 sedan and announced a 5% workforce cut at its South Carolina plant. BMW has postponed the launch of its new electric Mini in America. Mercedes has paused a future model debut. Audi is holding all North American-bound shipments, and Porsche is considering relocating manufacturing of one future model from Europe to North America. None of this is hypothetical. It is happening now. Meanwhile, Brussels is preparing to file a formal case at the World Trade Organization challenging the legality of Trump's reciprocal tariffs. The EU has also drafted a $100 billion retaliation list. If the two sides fail to reach a deal by July, both packages go live. European automakers will face tariffs on the way into America, and US automakers will face retaliatory duties on every vehicle sold in Europe. For Ford, General Motors, and Tesla, the consequences would be immediate. But for German brands, it would be worse. Because while American automakers have been investing in domestic production for years, German brands, especially Audi, BMW, and Porsche, still rely heavily on import channels, and those channels are now closing. What does this mean for consumers? It means inventory shortages, longer wait times, price hikes. It means that luxury car buyers in the United States may soon find the Audi they want is no longer available, that the BMW they ordered is delayed, that the Porsche they plan to lease has jumped $10,000 in price. And for dealers who rely on monthly volume to keep the lights on, the squeeze is already here. Many have begun cutting advertising budgets, holding off on new hires, and bracing for a summer of chaos. At the same time, Germany itself is starting to feel the pressure. A study released by the Munich-based IFO Institute predicted that the US tariffs and expected retaliation could shave nearly 2% of Germany's annual GDP, a contraction not seen since the financial crisis. Automotive exports to the US account for nearly 1% of Germany's auto sector earnings. If those dry up, the consequences could ripple across the Eurozone, and it is not just about cars. A full-blown trade war between the United States and Europe would hit aviation, agriculture, tech, and energy. It would push up prices across the board, it would slow global growth, and it would weaken NATO's economic spine at a time when unity is already under pressure from Russia's war in Ukraine and instability in the Indo-Pacific. Which brings us back to the automakers. For now, they are waiting, watching, adapting. Volkswagen has not closed any plants, but it has stopped new shipments. BMW has not left the US, but it has already adjusted prices and delayed product launches. Mercedes is still building SUVs in Alabama, but its global strategy is now under review. Audi has frozen its imports. Porsche is holding its pricing for now. The next 4 weeks will determine whether the crisis can be contained or whether this will become a full collapse. If the tariffs go to 50% and the EU retaliates, the economic logic that keeps German automakers in the US begins to break down. And when that logic breaks, so do jobs, so do dealerships, so do futures. This is not politics, this is arithmetic. And the numbers are brutal. Stay alert, stay informed, and stay prepared. Because this war is being waged in silence.